Greetings from Singapore. Today I'd like to share with you guys some of the complaints and unhappiness of the local Singaporeans when they are living in Singapore. So let's begin. Now the first complaint will be the prices of the food is very expensive. Even the food court, look at the prices. $8.80, $7.80. Even the summer roll, the spring roll is $6.50. So this is considered expensive in Singapore because what the locals can accept, the budget reasonable price is only $5. Anything above $5 is considered expensive, and exclude the drink as well. Now the second complaint will be the foreigners are taking up the jobs of the Singaporeans, but it all depends on individual because there are jobs for the locals as well. We can't really say that they take the jobs. It's whether the Singaporeans would like to work for the jobs, not. For example, the work of the Bangala workers in the construction. You think that the local Singaporeans are willing to accept the low salary and then work in the daytime, afternoon, and even night. They have to like face the sun, the shine, the rain, and more. So this is one thing to consider. But I often hear Singaporeans complaining about this issue. The third complaint is there are too much foreigners in Singapore, and Singapore is losing its culture, distinct identity. This is true to some aspect because in Singapore right now you have like the people from China, India, neighboring countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. They all want to come to Singapore to work because they think the salary is high, but they forgot that the cost of living is also high. So in the end, how much do they save a month after deducting for rental, food, even some of the medical bills? If they have some fever, you need to consult a doctor and so on. Or adds up to a cost, and it depends on their salary as well. If they earn just between 2,000 to 3,000 Singapore dollars, they end up after deducting all the expenses, they really cannot like say much. And after the end of the contract, what happens is that they find that they don't really save up that much of money. But anyway, there's another issue, the issue of complaint on Singaporeans that the foreigners are taking up Singapore jobs and then they lose kind of identity. But then as a Singaporean, it's like our own identity depends on ourselves. We cannot say that the foreigners take away our identity. We still have our own identity, right? For example, our Singlish and much more, our identity, the street food and much more. So the rising cost is not just about the food, but we feel like almost everything in general, from buying the BTO flats and the HDB, and we feel that the salary has not caught up, not in line with the inflation. So the HDB that cost maybe a 3-room flat that cost maybe 200,000 a few years ago has now almost double. It depends on location as well, and some have even increased under 1 million Singapore dollar for a 3-room HDB flat in the prime locations. Now, especially for the car, in Singapore they have the COE, right? So that is one thing that is so expensive that you compare the prices of cars in other countries. The cars of Singapore is really the most expensive, and not only that, the hotels as well. Now the next complaint about Singaporeans regarding Singapore will be the work culture. It's like work until die, from morning to night. There's no work-life balance or very little. So you get up early in the morning and you return back late at night. Even on weekend you are still working, and then you see the uncle and auntie in the food court, they work, they are so old already and they still work, right? Over 70 years old. One of the reasons of the high cost of living, and I think very few percentage because they want to exercise or they want to find some work to do. There's not much, mainly because of the high cost of living. Now back to the housing concern and complaint. They say the BTO flats, they need to wait at least 5 years, and even if they get it, it's in the Ulu location. Ulu means very remote location, not prime location. So they just feel that with the rising cost of the HDB flats, it's like they feel that the home ownership dream is slipping away from their hands. They really can't afford the HDB. So what they do, some people rent a flat even though they are Singaporeans. Secondly, they still live with their parents even though they are married. You can imagine a husband and the wife live with their parents after marriage. Now the next complaint will be the MRT and the buses. Even though it's efficient, right? But Singaporeans find that there's a lot of delay. Sometimes MRT breakdown, so they just get fed up because Singaporeans want things to be done fast and efficient, and it's a little wait maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, they want to complain. Now in Singapore, there are many rules and regulations. If do anything illegal, they get caught, either get a fine or a jail or both. So I just feel that Singapore is a country where everything is so strict. They don't have really much freedom, and they are afraid of breaking even a little law like not returning the tray. They cannot fine, and then the fine can be like $300. They just feel that it's too strict. The next issue is about the weather and lifestyle. It just feel that Singapore is a very small country and not much place to go for entertainment. You go to Sentosa, the zoo, the food court, the malls. You go to cinema, you go to see the film, and then you go to like maybe Science Center, Snow City, you go to Orchard Road, go to like City Hall, Bugis, and that's it. Not much entertainment. You know, some Singaporean guys, they even complain that Singapore girls are not like pretty, they are not feminine, which I do agree to a certain extent, but it's not all, because there are some feminine Singaporean girls around. It's just that they don't fit their expectation of what is suitable as a girlfriend or material or wife for them. So they just complain and they end up being single and they search for a girlfriend or wife a long time. But to which individual, there's nothing wrong or nothing right, it's just their own choices. If you enjoyed the video so far, please subscribe so more people can get to see the video. Thanks very much, and maybe leave a like. The reverse is also true. Singapore girls complain about Singaporean guys being sloppy and don't have dress sense. They wear in t-shirts and shorts almost every day and sandals. The most they wear the t-shirt and jeans when they go out, and they seldom like dress up. But Singaporean guys also say the same thing. Singaporean girls, they don't have any dress sense. They just wear t-shirt and shorts almost everywhere. So this MRT, for those who don't know, you're foreigner. So the metro station is actually quite efficient, but there are complaints, as I said earlier, of the breakdown and delays. Anyway, in my opinion, it's not necessary to buy a car unless your job really needs it or you have a big family. Otherwise, if you are married or have one or two kids, you can just save on the money and take a public transport even you are rich, because public transport is really like faster, more efficient and cheaper than the private transport.